I'd like to acknowledge before I do that there's distinguished guests here tonight. So Bishop Tim over here on my right hand side. So I know that everybody has seen Bishop Tim. I don't know if you'd like to stand up or not. That's Bishop Les down here, which I think most of you have seen over the years and celebrated Mass tonight. And I've also got a colleague here from New Zealand, which is my counterpart here, the Supreme Knight of New Zealand, Matthew Bland, and his wife Judith. And I've also got Brother Francis Price here, who's the CEO of Southern Cross Care in Queensland, but also Southern Cross.
Don't tell Jason.
The chair, sorry.
I'd like to get that money, but I don't.
The chair of Southern Cross Care Queensland, and also the chair of Southern Cross Care Australia. And any of the ladies, distinguished guests, thank you very much. It gives me great pleasure tonight to present the Supreme Knights Award, and the recipients for this year is Brother Don Campbell from South Australia. I might get my learned friend here as well, Brother, Dr. Redden Long, to come up if you'd like to. I will take photos in a couple of minutes, just hold on for a second. Brendan, I'll just present the work here and Don. If you'd like to read the citation.
Totally.
But I'll read this out first.
So
just hold on. Don, Supreme Knights Award. So, Brother Don here, over 52 years of membership of the Order, and particularly his high level of commitment, dedication and generosity of spirit, which he has evidenced in the role of South Australia State Chairman, a branch chairman, a national executive member. He is in the esteem of his colleagues in the Order within the wider community. The National Council and the National Executive appreciates his enthusiasm and industry shown by the member in fulfilling the duties and responsibilities in each of these roles, and in recognition therefore presents him with the Supreme Knights Award. We pray that God will bless him and keep him close to him all the rest of his days, and given today on the 24th of May 2025 by myself. As such, so it's a great honour. And I'll give Brendan there an opportunity maybe just to read some of that citation in respect to the reason for receiving that level of distinction.
Well, it's a long citation for obviously very good reasons, so I will proceed. Brother Don was admitted to the Order of the Knights of the Southern Cross, New South Wales, on the 24th of November 1973 at a ceremony held at Maris Brothers Hall in Broken Hill. In the following years, Don served on the Broken Hill Branch Council for a term and spent more than 10 years on the board of Southern Cross Homes, Broken Hill. With the Knights, he participated in many projects supporting bingo fundraisers, St Pat's races, Con Crowley Retirement Village, and with the maintenance projects at 3 churches and a cemetery, and was also a Eucharistic minister at Mass. After relocating to Adelaide in 2000, Don joined the De Montcourt branch of KSC South Australia, where he became the Deputy Branch Chairman and then the Branch Chairman. He joined State Council in 2016, initially reviewing the South Australian Constitution, that would have been fun, before becoming Deputy to State Chairman between 2019 and 2022. During this time, he assisted in conducting research for the state's centenary history, started his branch at Clairview, Kilburn, and led State Council in the preparation and running of its centenary celebrations. At the end of 2022, Brother Don was awarded life membership of the Order. Brother Don is currently the Development and Membership Officer in South Australia. He's also Secretary at his local Clairview Kilburn branch, which is very active under his mentoring. Brother Don was actively involved in national executive and a National Council of the Knights of the Southern Cross since 2018 and played a valuable esteemed role in the National Development Committee, National Constitution Committee, and his contribution to the development and formation of national plans and strategies is greatly appreciated. Brother Don credits the greatest things about being a knight in the people one might not otherwise meet. He considers that working with State Council and on the branch executive is very satisfying in knowing that you are contributing to the good of the Catholic Church at the parish level and assisting others in many ways. After a very busy working life, there's been a great outlet. However, Brother Don also acknowledges that the work he's done for KSC would not have been as easy without the untold support of his wife Denise, who also lends a big hand where meals and barbecues are being prepared and served.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can you give a round of applause, please? All right, I might just, if you don't mind, for some distinguished guests here to perhaps assemble at the front here. Bishop Tim, Bishop Les, maybe Matthew from New Zealand. Andrew, do you want to be in the photo here? So we'll make a...
Why not?
Come over here in front of our flags. So we'll present this distinction to Brother Don. That's right. Denise, would you like to come up?
Denise.
Come on. Yeah, come up,
Denise. Come up, Denise.
Yes, Denise. Need a better half.
Gentlemen, here, come this way a bit and we'll get the flags.
Denise.
We'll come up to the John. Yeah, Andrew, you come inside. So some photos there somewhere we can... All right. Thank you, everybody. Wonderful. Pleasure. All right. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Can you
Yes.
can you message me photos with me?
Don't worry. If we can just your attention for one more minute, please. Brother Don would like to say a couple of words.
Yeah, I won't be too long. As all my colleagues will tell you, I'm a man of very few words. But anyway, look, I'd like to thank you, Brother Vince. I really feel very privileged and honoured to get this. It was rather a shock today, and I apologise to both bishops for the, or certainly Bishop Les for the few words I said initially when they said to me about it. And I thank my Adelaide colleagues who have nominated me for this. It was certainly very much a surprise, and I do feel privileged. I do think there are many others that I can think of that have done things over my lifetime in the Knights that have far outweighed what I've done. But I'm certainly very honoured to receive this. So thank you all, and you know, to my branch members who are not here, and everyone else on State Council. I might say that going back to 1973, when I joined, the first time I knocked it back, we'd only been married a few years at that stage, and in those days everyone laid their own cement. There was no one to come in and, you know, do your work for you around the house, and I was rather busy laying cement and working underground on the mines at the time. And anyway, once that was over, I said to Denise, well, I think I need to go out and do a long-held hobby that I wanted, was to go flying. And so I headed for the Aero Club, still working underground. I'd also been doing first aid at that stage, so I did that and joined went up from underground to the security and ambulance room gang on the mine. Having said that, I got to know a lot of people, both in the Knights and in the Freemasons, if you like, on the mines. There was only two sides there, and they sort of fought against each other to get people in and to give a hand. Well, I don't know whether anyone in Adelaide remembers Reggie Colbert. He came to Adelaide years after. He was a shift boss on the mine, and I used to work under him, doing a bit of work on the shaft. Bull Ant was his nickname. Everyone had a nickname underground on the mines, and he used to tell us that, he was called Bull Ant because he could lift 3 times his own weight. Anyway, it was another close friend that, at the time, that asked me to join the Knights, and in 1973 I decided to join them. So, didn't know what I was in for, couldn't find out anything about it, and being the conservative type, I felt a little bit ill at ease about that at the time. But when I got there, that particular night, it was a rather dark room that we were just standing in, and there was a hallway with, we could hear other people out there and that, but anyway, the guy that used to cut my hair, he was standing alongside me. And then there was, as we were taken out into this hall, here was a mob of the blokes that I'd worked underground with and never knew they were even in the Knights. So it went from there, and we're encouraged to do different jobs. As you mentioned, the bingo, there was helping people. If someone took sick, we'd go and help them around the yards and that. And I mean, people like Bull Ant, I happened to sadly mention one day that I was going to do a painting inside my house, and he offered to come around and help, and gee, it took a lot to stop him from coming in. He wasn't a good painter. He was an underground mine worker and things like this, and of course they were going with pretty well with, it started before my time, and it's been mentioned by different people today, was the Paddy's races, and that commenced with a priest and one of the KFC members on the golf course. So they decided they'd start the races, and anyway, a mob of these people, like Bull Ant, like another guy called Kevin Quinn, Harold Williams, there was all these fellows that were very high profile fellows in the Knights, and got paddies going, which used to give the Catholic schools in Broken Hill $30,000 a year, and that was a large amount. And so, because we're going back into the 70s, they had committees there, and of course, it seems funny now, but it didn't seem too funny at the time, where it got raided one particular Friday night, and there was no more after that, the police come up from Sydney and up to Broken Hill, and because there's gambling tables on the Friday night, there was some other event on the Thursday night at the Musicians Club. Saturday, a lot of the women and the guys that work out at Paddy's on the tables, and that Friday nights they'd be on the table too, gambling tables. But Saturday it was serving food or whatever it did to run the event. And you know, it was, and then Sunday was a recovery day. So it was very much a big event and an enjoyable event. So there was things like that. There was many other small projects that we all took part in. I only spent one term on branch council there because, well, I was never home as it was. I was flying. You know, one part for the zinc mine where I travelled all over the country. Secondly, with the RFDS where I was again travelling all over the country, checking and training other pilots. And which was, you know, I felt like I'd, you know, been born under a fairy's wing sort of after that, because it was a great career. And I can't complain about it. So, because of my check and training skills and that, and management skills, I'd been asked to come down to the Civil Aviation Safety Authority in Adelaide, better known as CASA. So that's what I did, and so I made a break from, we made the break from Broken Hill, and of course the first thing I did then, I thought, well, where are the nights here? I better have a look, you know, and I joined the Dernancourt branch, and because there was none at my own church at the time where we built near Cleveland. So when I was getting near to retirement, I joined in on the as deputy branch chairman. But then, as I was becoming, they said, "Oh, well, now you've got to be the branch chairman." And I said, "Well, what's my job? Where's the, you know, where have you got it?" Because bear in mind, I was with CASA, going around doing audits, making sure everyone had their manual with the dotted I's and the T's crossed and all that sort of thing. And, you know, so I asked for what I had to show me, and one particular member, I won't mention his name here, said, "Well, you know, here's the Constitution, have a look at it." So I had a look at it, and when I went back the next time I said, "That's rubbish." They said, "Well, why don't you go and tell State Council that?" I said, "Well, yes, I will." What a foolish mistake. So we had a beloved chairman at the time called Phil Burns, a fantastic guy he was, an old army major who knew every trick in the book. And so when I said to him, "Look, that's a bit of rubbish, you need to fix that up," and he said, "Look, we're really short of time here, do you think you wouldn't mind, you know, just putting it together a little bit? Doesn't take much time, you know." And, well, what else could I do? So I did that, and of course throughout that year then he said, "Well, really, you're here, you might as well join State Council." And that's where we went, you know. So this is my 10th year now in State Council, and I have 4 years as State Chairman. I have to say it's been a heavy workload at times, particularly with the centenary we had, but really the people that I've had around me, I thank. People like Ian, people like Paul, who wrote our history later on when we were coming up to our centenary. Dino Persico, people like that, Phil Burns, are all great people, and you look up to these people to that you see, and that's where you get your energy from, as to how good these people were, and even those back in Broken Hill, you think, gee, I'd like to be able to do something like them, and you try and do your best, one way or the other. Getting close to the 80 mark now, I have to say. I don't have quite the same energy, but I'd say I'm grateful for what I've been able to do, because, we all get a few medical issues as we get a bit older and that sort of thing. So I feel very lucky that I've been in both the branch chairman and in the Knights and on State Council, coming to the national meetings and that, and meeting the people like you and all of you here, the priests, the bishops and that it's been my privilege to meet. So I can only thank you all once again. So thank you so much.
Ben, before he leaves, Don, what was your underground nickname?
No, I didn't have one.
Oh yeah. Hey, sorry, Don's going to get a second here. You got a medallion there.
Yeah, man, yeah.
You do. You're fine.
There it is.
No.
That's it. We've got new austerity measures, mate. So, there you go. You've got a Parliament House lobbying pass with a really nice photo of me.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really pleased to have it.
The access
Just let me go
Parliament.
to Parliament.
It does actually go on.
That's right. So you got straight line access to the Prime Minister of the country now. So straight line with this, so you can go in there and have a chat to him and have a coffee on Monday morning. So I've got a medallion here that goes with this. So special stuff. I'll give you that, and you've got some of the pal to go with it too. Add to your compliments there. So well done. Congratulations.
Good. Thank you very much, Vince. Okay.